I think now more than ever, we have an interconnected highway system that allows us to activate on that data in a meaningful way.
I'm Stephanie Paterik, editor-in-chief of The Current, and here in the studio we have a really exciting guest. Mark Williamson is Assistant Vice President of Retail Media at Costco, a brand that has been in business since the 1980s and is having a really solid year here in 2025. Mark, welcome to the studio.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
2025 is shaping up to be a strong year by all accounts. I'm curious to know, how is the business going and how is your strategy changing, if at all?
Yeah, the business is good. I think the underlying indicators suggest that members continue to trust Costco as a place to find everyday value. With all the things going on, all the noise that's out there, whether it's the macroeconomic pressures or social pressures or whatever it may be, the beauty of Costco is that we stay the course. We have our core principles and our core operating model, and our merchants and operators fight every day to bring the highest quality products at the lowest possible price. And so that model seems to work in all environments.
Yeah, the price-conscious customer isn't necessarily a new customer to Costco. You're somewhat built for that.
Yeah.
Tell me about the retail media side of the business. What are you focused in on there right now?
Yeah, we're focused on very similar things. And so retail media at Costco represents the opportunity to reinforce the value of membership. Wherein a lot of retail media businesses are really positioned as profit centers, as a way to garner ancillary revenue streams, to whether it's to pad the P&L or to make investments elsewhere in the company. What we've done is we've really focused on keeping retail media as a reinforcement of what our core mission is, which is to grow the member base and drive top-line sales by delivering member value every day. And so we really view retail media as a function of enhancing our supplier engagements and partnering with brands and agencies to reach more members with targeted, relevant messaging, so they can recognize and remember the value that Costco brings.
Can you share an example of how Costco is using data to enhance the customer experience?
Well, retailers have a lot of data. There's behavioral data, transaction data, there's clickstream data. There's a lot of indicators of what customers, or in our case, our members, might be interested in. And for us, it's really about unlocking the power that's there to drive more relevance. Shopping Costco is a treasure hunt type of experience. It's all about the process of discovery, and we're very well known for people come in with a shopping list and then they end up leaving with much more than they anticipated.
I'm one of those people.
Thank you. They find things that they never knew they always wanted.
Yeah.
And what we believe is that if we leverage the data that we have, we can bring that discovery process further upstream. And so whether they're searching on our website or they're browsing the internet or consuming content or whatever it may be, we can help inform perhaps their next shop by using that data to show them that we know them in a way that really, I think, underpins the value of discovery and the joy of shopping at Costco. But retail media doesn't start and end at the point of purchase. And so we have to be mindful of how do we reach audiences wherever they are consuming content. And so that's really what Offsite represents to me. It's about audience extension. It's about reaching the unreachable. It's about reaching our members. Whether they're perusing the internet, they're consuming content, they're doom scrolling on social, whatever it may be. They're making decisions. They're discovering things. They're learning. They're being entertained. That's how we engage these days. And so for me, if we're not activating offsite, I think we're limiting our ability to reach our members in a meaningful way.
You've been working in the retail media space for a bit, and you've seen it evolve. It's transforming so rapidly. I'm curious, what element of it do you think has the power to be most innovative, most impactful?
That's a great question, because everything has changed. So I've been doing this for about 15 years, and this is the third retailer that I've worked to build a program at. I think there's always been an understanding from brands that activating at the point of purchase makes sense. That the data and the engagement that retailers have makes them a meaningful media publishing partner. But what's changed, though, is I think whether it's the operating model that is informed by the technology that is available. It's more like we have eyeballs, we have traffic, let's monetize it. Whereas right now, I think it could be much more purpose-built because the data collaboration tools that we have, the ad serving tools that we have, the vast expansive networks that are open and interconnected, I think it gives the retailers the ability to be very purposeful in the way that they architect their ecosystem. Yes, we have data, but we also have this very special relationship with our member. First and foremost, we can do no harm and we can't violate the trust that they have in us, but we do want to unlock the power of that data to reach them and to drive relevant experiences as much as possible. And I think now more than ever, we have like an interconnected highway system that allows us to activate on that data in a meaningful way. And I think 10 years ago we might have dreamed of a scenario where we would have these kind of tools, but they just didn't exist. And then you have big monolithic companies with big walled gardens and black box type ecosystems where you say, hey, give us all your data and we can do all the things you want to do. And you kind of make a choice, like, is that really the business that we want to be in? Whereas now I feel like the ability for a retailer to be in control of their own destiny, to use composable elements of a ad tech stack and a MarTech stack in a very purposeful, deliberate way, it's very encouraging to me that we can do the things that we want to do as a retailer and as a retail media program without compromising the principles that are most important to us.
Yeah, Mark, thank you so much for coming into the studio today. I really appreciate getting your perspective, and like I said, such an interesting year and a big year for the brand. I hope you come back again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.